Hello there, welcome. Time for some more Haskell live coding. Last time out, I was looking at adding an account, like a bank account rather than a user account. And essentially that's some information like the name of the account. In future, it'll be the person that owns the account. And then a collection of ledger entries, so basically deposits and withdrawals from that account. Now, there's a little bit of tidying up I'd like to do. I'm just bringing the code up. It looks okay at this point, roughly, when you are getting the account. I'm not super chuffed about the returning the error here, but when you look at actually getting the account, which is down here, the error handling is really nasty, and I've hidden it a little bit by splitting this out into a second function, but it's basically nested case statements. You try the first thing, you grab the error. If you get the error, then you do something with it, and then if you don't get an error, you just add ledger thing, and this does the same thing. And map result is hiding the error handling. It's a little bit convoluted. If I could make the error types the same for loading a ledger, this returns a load ledger error, and loading an account returns get account error, I think it is. I can't remember what that was. If I could somehow combine those, I think it would make this a little bit easier, and I could use applicative and then run the command sequentially, effectively, and then on the C case, just join the stuff together to create this ledger result. However, I'm not going to look at that today, because what I actually want to look at is adding a bit of information to the ledger. So when we run this code, we get, in this case, a ledger with an account with ledger, which has got the account information and the ledger information. And the account information comes from the database, and it's got an ID and name and some created date. And in the future, you can think it might have an owner, it might have a routing number, like an account number in there, and some other stuff. One thing it doesn't have is the balance, and I think the account balance is probably something that people are quite interested in. They want to know how much money they have. And there are, I think, roughly two ways you could approach this. One way is to get the ledger entries, get the whole list of ledger entries, and then sum it up from there. So either by running a query against the database, or by getting them back in code and then iterating through them, probably the slowest way of doing it. So that's one approach, and then the other approach is you could keep an extra field on the account and just update it as stuff is deposited or withdrawn into the account. So basically, as we create a ledger entry, we go and update the account as well. Both of these are problematic at scale. It just becomes a series of trade-offs depending what you want to do. I'm not operating at scale, so I can just pick the solution I think is more interesting to implement. If you do it by sending out the ledger entries, you're going to hit problems when you have too many ledger entries, pretty obviously. If you have like years worth of account history, you don't want to load every single thing to say you have $10 in your account. If you do it on the account though, so if you sort of denormalize the data, then you have the challenge of making sure that that's accurate. So you denormalize it, right? You want to make sure you never write a ledger entry and don't update the balance, or that you don't update the balance and don't successfully write the ledger entry. At this scale, like at small scale, this is fine because we can just wrap it in transaction. So we can say, write the ledger entry, update the account, do it in a transaction, roll back if anything goes wrong. If you have a high transaction system, you have a lot of data, it becomes a lot more complicated to have a transaction that you can run at scale. But I don't have that challenge, so that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to write a transaction. Well, I'm not going to write a transaction. I'm going to write an endpoint for depositing and withdrawing money, and that is going to use a transaction to create the ledger entry and also to update the account balance at the same time. Yeah. So that's what I'm planning to do today. And the reason I want to approach it that way, one reason to approach it that way, is because I want to look at how you use transactions with Haskell. So really the problem I'm trying to solve is a bit of a driver for looking at the next library. Okay, this is going to be a little bit interesting with the seed data, because the seed data at the minute just does straight inserts into SQL. It doesn't run code, so I need to think about that a little bit as well. And also I haven't got endpoints for depositing or withdrawing money, so I might need to look at something for that as well. Maybe initially though I'll just drive it with some tests and make sure that the account balance is being updated as we run the test. It's probably the way to go actually. So where should I start? I might start with a test actually. Yeah, let's start with a test. So look at the Cabal file. Somewhere down here we should have the tests. So we have an end spec in here. Let's do deposit spec. Deposit? No, balance spec. And this is going to be in test balance spec. And we can say module balance spec. I think we export spec, where, and then spec is of type spec. Spec equals to something like describe depositing money I've only got a single thing in here, but I'll put doing anyway. So it updates the account balance. Actually, I'm going to do two things here. So it updates the account balance and it creates the ledger entry. That's what I'm hoping to get out of this. And then withdrawing money, I'll do a check for that as well. So we'll import some stuff. We'll add this. Okay, and then these need to do something. Undefined. Do undefined. It's not happy with that. Okay. Is there like an X? Yes, there is. Okay, cool. I don't know why I did that. I did the wrong thing. This should be, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so X, it would mean it shouldn't run the test. Okay, so what I want to do here, I want to create an account. I want to call a function to deposit money in the account. Then I'm going to load the account and I'm going to check balance. Okay, so loading the account, that's not going to work backwards here, but I know how to load an account. Oh, I need a migration for this as well. But loading an account comes from here, so I can say I'll need a connection. Okay. And when I have a connection, then I can say I could use it directly, or I could use the effect. I might use it directly. So I can call get on this, passing in a connection and the UUID. We don't have anything for creating accounts yet. Okay. So the UUID of the account is going to come from v4.nextRandom. go back to Cabal for a second. This will also need UID somewhere. Okay, so we're going to get the UID. Loading the account will be something like db.get connection, which we need to create, and then where do we get connection from? Not sure. And this is going to be, well, it's going to be the result, it's not really the account. And then I can say something like result should be right of account, and then some stuff in there. Let me know what it should be. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't know what I'm running here. It's confusing it so much. We can import the account. Why is this so very broken? V4. That's not right. In here, I've added UID to the test suite, so I should be able to import it. Import data.uid.v4 as qualified as v4. No. It's a bit weird. Okay, if I go back to account for a second. Data UID. Maybe I'll test. Maybe it's not installed it properly. A very different error. Run it again. It's not, the errors I'm getting from the console are not the same as the errors I'm getting from the LSP. Let me just restart it, see what happens. Maybe sometime soon. Okay. Here. DB accounts as DB. Where do we get in main? Where do we get our connection from? We're loading the config, and we did this with it. I'm just going to grab that for a second. Why is it added this crap in here? What am I typing that's making it dump crap into the function? Oh, I see. I think I have been selecting the wrong the wrong option when it's importing. Instead of attempting to import something, I'm adding it as a function argument, which is never what I meant to do. You know, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. Is that right? Everything is very broken. Right. So spec do describe closing money, and debts to balance. How is on the right? It must be indentation related. Maybe it's not. Dates account balance. What have I done here? It's going to get to a point where it's not all red, and then we'll look back from there. Right, where did I get to? So db.get needs a connection, it needs a UUID. So the UUID comes from v4.nextRandom. At least that bit's working. Spec. No, you don't write spec, it's not a function. Okay, let's come out for a second and say something like UID should be 1, 2, 3. I should get a type error here actually. Add should be to import list. There we go. Okay, this is what I want. Right, so we have UID, we can get our connection back, and we'll get a result back. Let me just, it wants to go away for a second so it doesn't just complain about errors. So I could say 1 should be 1, but it's going to get upset about, types. It's not upset about types yet. Right, copy this again. Let's dump that in there. So config result goes there, the let goes there, and that goes there. Now why has it suddenly got upset about everything? This account balance. Pull that in. We have a config result, and then we should just be able to say, okay, it's config result. And in fact, I can just, I just let it crash if it doesn't work. So it should be right config result. Right, I can say right, in brackets, I can say right config. Is that okay? So db.account qualified as db is not what I want to do. I'm going to pull in db connection. Actually, let me just give it a name. So dbcon. Okay. And accounts db. I'll call this just con. Is that right? Okay, I'll get the result of this. Sorry, so the result of this is the result. I'll just put that for a second. So it couldn't match that with type either connection error or that. So again, this is going to be right. Just let it crash if it can't connect. Okay, now we get result back. I can say result should be, and this is going to be right of account We'll import account again. No. Okay, we've got account. And it's going to have a UUID. It says return an account. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. So it's going to have a UUID and some other stuff. Right, what we could just do is assume this will work. It's not the thing we're testing here. And then we could say, I'm going to go to count, and we could say account.id should be, and then we have a UID somewhere. Okay, so it's loading the account. We still need to do the thing where we create the account and we deposit something in it. And the thing we're really interested in is not the ID, but the balance. And we haven't got a balance yet. We don't have a function to create an account. Accounts DB. Let's add create. And it's going to take an account, a whole account, and I'll give it back again. So create takes an account, and we'll say session.run, but not get session, but create session this time. And we'll give it the account, and then create session. I'll write like this. I need a whole function for this. I don't think I do. I can say session.statement account and create statement. We can define it properly. Statement account. Not bad actually. So I can say create statement is equal to. Okay. So we're not going to select, we're going to insert into accounts. And our insert looks for Haskell. So Haskell, just have a look at the package for a second. What do I need? Statement, probably need statement. So that's a select. I don't want to insert many, but anyway. Insert into blah. Okay, I don't need to give it types by the looks of things. Oh no, they're all done here. Sorry. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so it's just going to be inserted into, I don't know where the type goes. Does the type go on the field that you're inserting into, or does it go on here? I'm inserting into account with ID name and created that. Values $1, $2, $3. This will do a missing explicit typecast. Cool. Okay, it goes there. That's a UID. This is text, I think. I can't remember. I have to go and look. It was text and then timestamp was zip. Timestamps. Timestamp. Okay. So when we're inserting, we're not going to use ID here. I know we've got time up and then just an ID. But anyway, I digress. We are going to take an account and we'll turn it into a tuple, I think, which is act.id, act.name, act.created app. Okay, so what's the type of this? UTC time, timestamp, local time, but what's the equivalent for that? And then this is problematic, so we're going to get something back. Let's throw it away and just return the original account. What do you get back? I also need to say I'm going to recreate it. I guess I can recreate it. I think it's very happy with that though. Maybe it returns nothing. Alert ID. Okay, getting slightly closer. So we have a bit of a problem with this timestamp. So I think I've told it it's local time and I've given it UTC time, or the other way around. Timestamp TZ, that's what I've got wrong. TZ, okay. Getting a little bit closer. And this returns nothing. Right, okay. So I think we're good now. We can create an account. If I export this. Back in the test, I can say something like name equal test account. And created at, oh, it's going to come from get local time. When I get current time, what it's called. Oh. Get time, get real time. No, none of those things. Oh, where do I get time from? It's not. Maybe it's not get. Maybe it's current time. No. I just want a thing that gives me UTC time. I want something that gives me IO of UTC time. What's it called? Get current time. Oh, this comes from package time, and I hadn't added that to Cabal. So let me go and find time. Let me find time. Right, okay. So now it should say get current time. Get current time. And then wait for Cabal. Okay. Get current time. Why can it not import that? What I'm thinking here is I should say the account let account equal, then it's going to be an account of UID, name, and created at. And this is going to be, I'll call this one account prime because I'm loading it later. And with account, I want to do accounts.db.create connection and the account. And this is going to be right of unit is that. Okay, so I've created, in theory, I created an account. I need to worry about clearing the database, but I can do that in a second. So we've created an account. Now we need to deposit money. I haven't got a helper for that. I'm just trying to think where to put that code. Because I don't think it's probably going to be in here. It's going to be here. Yeah. It's been here for now. I can always move it later. So deposit is going to take a connection and an account and a ledger entry. I'm not sure what it is because in the API, you can find it. An account store, and that's an effect. Maybe it goes in here because it's doing some work. Like here, this is where it's loading the account and it's loading the other thing. Well, no, but I will need it in the database though, I think, because I need to write a transaction around it. So let me deposit in here. So it takes a connection and an account and a ledger entry and returns IO of either a session error or unit. I don't need to qualify session error. Another one up here. Okay. Can I import ledger entry into here? Don't see why not. Okay, and then deposit. Given some connection and an account and ledger entry. Ledger entry is going to be session.run, session.statement, account, ledger entry, deposit deposit statement. And I think it's actually not going to be session.statement in the end, it's going to be transaction.statement, but we'll see how we go with this. Deposit statement. Doesn't know what it is. Does it need to be a tuple? Don't see why it would need to be a tuple. Because of the type of statement, maybe. Okay. So here we have the die map again. Doesn't feel like we need a die map because we're not doing anything with the result. So is it something like lmap? There isn't lmap, so we'll try it. So here we get a tuple with the account and the ledger entry. And let me ignore the account for a second. Now let me do the account actually. Ignore the ledger entry. And this is just going to be I think it's just going to be account.id. And then we need the statement. A single statement. And then here we'll say update accounts. Set what's this going to be? Oh, we don't have the amount yet. Okay. So here, what have we got in here? Oops. There we go. Right, so we got create ledger entries, create accounts, and then add account ID, and then we're going to need another one, which is add amount, add balance to accounts. So 004 adds balance to accounts SQL, and this is going to be alter table accounts add column balance, and how am I representing money? Big int not null. Okay. Big int, and I'll let it be null for now. Can it be null? No. Not null. Default 0. Does that work? Find out. Cabal run migrate. Oh, because I can't compile this. Okay, this is in accounts. I'll export deposits. Get rid of that warning for now. Okay, try it again. I'll source that, try it again. So we'll try running the migration. All migrations run. This, and then it will describe counts. It's now got a balance. Okay, cool. So back to here. So we're going to say that balance equals $1, which is a type int. Oh yeah, we don't want the ID. We did want the ID. But we also want, we're going to want a new balance. But I want a where clause here. ID equals $1, which is a UID. So we need two things. I'll put that as $2. And I'll put some kind of balance in there. So it's set to 0. What I really want to do is set it to balance plus whatever. I need to remember how to do SQL again. Okay, so if I say select star from counts limit 1, can I now say update accounts? Set balance equal. Can I say balance plus something? Where ID is equal to that. I'll give it a limit for a second. Yes, I can. Okay, cool. So I can say set balance equals balance plus that. Right. So now we can do this with the ledger entry. And I can say le.amount. Where I import ledger entry into import constructors. Okay, and now we have a problem because this is int 64 and that's what int 32. So can I say big int? Does it understand that? Looks like it does. Okay, cool. Right, so if I try and deposit something, it should increment the account balance. I think. Back to my test. Right, so create an account. And I want to say that ledger entry equal, oh, I need another ID. Ledger UID is v4.nextRandom. And then let ledger equal, somewhere I have ledgers. Okay, I can call make debit. Okay, that wants the account. It wants the UID, it wants the amount, and it wants the time. Debit. Okay. And we got the account. We got the ledger UID. We got the amount, which I'll define. Let's say amount is equal to, let's deposit $10. And the time is created at least the same time. Okay, and then I should say accounts db.deposit the ledger, on the account. Oh, first of all, connection, account ledger. Then passes a tuple. No, I do not. This make debit. Right, okay. And say write, and it's ledger entry ready, run a ledger. Okay. And then I should be able to say write unit is that. How much are non-exhaustive? I know they are. That might let me here. Okay, so now I have an account. I've deposited some money. Then when I run it, it should say, I run it and then I reload it and it should update the amount. So we're going to say amount should be, I haven't told what the amount is yet. Haha, okay. This should be 10, but it should be the amount. Right, back to the account. Give it balance. It's not amount, it's balance. And this is a big int, so an int 64. An int 64 to you int 64. It's int 64. Okay, and now a lot of stuff should be broken in here. No, because I'm not loading it. Balance is a big int. Balance in here. Balance in there. Okay, what's it going wrong? There. Now what's it gone wrong? Couldn't match that with that, and to account needs an int 64 here. Don't need to import. Okay. Again, I'm going to, no, I'm not going to set, when you create an account, we won't set the balance, we'll just default it to 0. Okay, that's one of them. So if we go to now, account store, this is probably quite broken. Says it's not. Where are the errors in? Oh, we need a 0 in there. Okay, and it's not amount, it should be balance. Okay. So instead it should run once and then never again. Well, no, it should keep running. It's just going to fill the database up with crap. I think I want an after to make sure it always cleans up. probably before to get the connection and after to clean it up. Or in fact, actually, this stuff could go into there. Not quite. So let me do it in one thing for now. Just get it to pass once. Let's go to deposit, and I'm going to get this wrong. How will I get it wrong? Let's say 100 plus that. So I expect this test to fail because it should get 110 back and it expects 100. And then I have to go and clean up manually. Cal run my no. I'll test. Oh, not the thing I was expecting. IO exception of type user error. Good. Not the error I was expecting. So line 25. How much failure and do? Balance spec line 25. So the creation is failing. Okay, so maybe we can do something like create result is that, and then we can say create result should be right of unit, and then run it again. That's better, I guess. So insert into accounts, ID name, credit values, blah blah blah. So we get a UID test account and a timestamp. Result error, unexpected result status, command OK. Expecting one of the following tuples OK. Is this because of the way I'm using Haskell? As an example of how to run an update. Row coding statements. Row ignoring result list statement. It's probably result list statement that I want. So in here, this can be result list statement. And that can be just lmap, get rid of that. Try it again. Okay, we've now got a failure in line 30. It should be credit. So I can't debit a positive amount, and I do want to credit it anyway. Try it again. Okay, and now we are up to line 32. This one, so we're doing deposit result, might be the same thing. So deposit result is that, and then we can say deposit result, oops, what's it done? Undo what you did. The result should be, okay, and it should be right of unit. Okay, yeah, it got command okay. It was expecting tuples okay, so it's going to be the same thing. So this is going to be down here. It's not a singleton statement. It's what was it? Result list statement. Try it again. Cool. Okay. So I deliberately got it wrong, but I expected 10, got 110. I just go and clean up. So select star from counts, order by, created at descending limit 1. So in theory I can just say delete from. I cannot do delete from an order. Okay. Delete from that. Where ID is equal to that. Okay. Oops. So in here I can say I'm going to do a bunch of these things. I can split this out a bit, so I can say, can I move these into a helper function? That. No. No, I can't. Okay. Deposit is going to take an amount, or take an account, and an int64, and run under spec. Hopefully just run under IO. That deposit is due, and then I can just grab these. It's got an account and an amount. We created that. We can do that. Okay. Oh, and his connection as well. db.connection. No. What's the connection type? dbcon.connection. No. Now we're just going to look at the type. It's a Haskell connection. So let's say Haskell. Oh, inc think, well, because we're now talking to the database, I need a way to do that. So the LSP will take a minute. Hope we know that we can say I might get rid of this should be here. I might just return this thing. So it's got a connection account and an amount. It doesn't be called should be down here, so maybe that's okay. What we're going to do is say deposit 10. Deposit, and it takes the connection and the account and 10 and the connection and the account, and let's say 50. And we should get rid of this, and it should be 60. I'll go back to here and I'll fix this. Okay, let's try running the tests. Okay, unexpectedly it worked. Well, not unexpectedly. It's just unusual when tests pass. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to add something to the test to clean up afterwards so that we don't just keep dumping crap in the database. And then I'll do the second test, which is the one that's really all about, which is, I suppose updating the account balance. It should create a ledger entry, which I'm not doing yet, and that's where it actually uses transaction. I just noticed on the way past though that in the migration, we're using Haskell transaction already. So we do TX here. So rather than doing where did act come from? It's whatever it calls this, and it gets called from here, which is called run migration, or migration initialize. Okay, another one somewhere as well. Maybe there's not. But essentially, I think I can say tx transaction recommitted, right, and then I'll give it a bunch of statements to run at this point. But that's all for next time. I'm right out of time now. So yeah, next time I'll come back, write something to clean up the database around this depositing. I'll add a helper for withdrawing as well to make sure it gets updated and decremented as well. And crucially, I'll add a test here which says make sure the ledger entries are created, because if we're not creating those, then we're getting out of sync. That's what I want to avoid with a transaction. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching along. And yeah, hopefully see you next week, and I'll continue with the transaction stuff. Cool. See you then.